You have to be disciplined. And there's a lot of people that are very hardworking and put out great stuff, but they have to have somebody else telling them what to do and all of this stuff. And then they'll do it. When you are running your own business, you're the one that's in charge. You have to be figuring out, what am I doing? And if you have never been trained that way, you're not thinking that way, you will find things to keep busy that are going to have no actual value. And there's a lot of people that are, yes, I'm so busy. And I'm going, you're shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic after you've hit the iceberg because you weren't paying attention to the iceberg and you weren't working on steering. You weren't working on getting people to the lifeboat. You're just going, well, it has to look pretty. And they're putting their time and their effort into the things that don't matter and are either actively avoiding the stuff that does or don't even know the things that are important.
This is Get Unstuck Podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs who prioritize their life first, business second. I'm Mudita Panmuk, your host, who dedicates my life to designing and building a business that supports lifestyle. We will learn together from entrepreneurs around the world how they overcome their life challenges, their business obstacles, and yet still get unstuck from the hamster wheel of burying themselves into their business. Because time is the number one commodity in the world that you cannot get back once it's gone. So let's shorten the learning curve and see how can we prioritize better. Let's get unstuck. One. Hi, Get Unstuck Nation. The most important time in your business is the first 2 years. And our guest today, Tammy Johnston, is the hold your hand and kick your ass business coach. You know, I have never seen anyone have that long tagline before. But we're going to talk about it. So, you know, her experiences in working with small business owners for over 20 years. So today, we are going to have a conversation with an expert who have experience over 2 decades. We will learn what makes your business survive and how make it thrive even. So not only just starting out. And without further ado then, so please welcome Tammy to Get Unstuck Podcast today. Hi, Tammy. How are you doing?
I am doing very well and looking forward to a great conversation.
Yeah, I'm very excited because I think we have something nice preparing for our audience today. So before we get into our goodies, I would like to going back time a little bit. How did you started your entrepreneurial journey though?
Well, it started like a lot of people started kind of unplanned. So I was fired from a job I absolutely hated, and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because, like you said, I hated where I didn't hate the job. I hated where I was, and I was already interviewing for another job. And if it had been a week later, I would have been somewhere else with a better title, better pay, and all of that. And then I got called into my boss's office and I was fired. And I just felt this huge weight being lifted off of my shoulders. And I started to smile. He's expecting me to be all upset about this and that. But no, I just started to smile because I felt I never have to work for another creepy, incompetent old man again. And then I decided in that moment, because I'd had people telling me for years that, okay, Tammy, you need to go into sales. You need to start your own business. You'd be really, really good at this. And I had all sorts of excuses why, no, not going to do this. And then when I got fired, I'm going, nope, finally, I'm going to do it. So I made the decision in that moment, yes, and haven't looked back. It was terrifying and freeing and fun and horrifying. It was the whole mix. Because then I had to come home and tell my husband, who is very much the safe, secure, perfect employee type, that his wife is now going to start a business.
So from there, do you think entrepreneur is for everyone?
Is it for everyone? No. It is not for everyone. Have you ever watched the Disney movie Ratatouille?
Yes.
And you know how they say anyone can be a chef? It's true. Anyone can be an entrepreneur. Can everyone? No. And I've been teaching small business for like over 2 decades now. And I've had a few people over the years that after they finish doing like the weekend small business course with me, they come up to me and go, you know what, now that I actually understand all that goes into this, it's not for me. And I'm going, oh, thank you. That is absolutely perfect, because I would rather have you figure that out now before you've put in months, if not years, and all your money and all of this into something that isn't right for you. And then for a lot of people, they're going, yes, this is what I want to do. And now that I have a better idea, I can do a better job of it. It's not for everyone, but it can be for anyone.
So what do you think about the pros and cons, or like, let's say, what types of character or expectation of someone to start a business that should have?
Number one, they need to have a good firm grasp on reality.
Because it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you real hard.
And here I'm gonna temper that. They also have to be crazy. So what in the world do I mean? Okay, like I said, you have to have a good firm grip on reality. It's always going to take longer than you think. You're going to have to work way harder. There's going to be way more difficulties and challenges, and there's no such thing as a magic bullet. And that's one of the things that drives me nuts whenever I go onto social media, because I get hit with all the same ads that for everybody else. And it's all these coaches. Oh, you do one thing with me and we'll have you making $50,000 a month regularly starting next month. And that doesn't happen. It's like they're trying to sell you the winning lottery ticket, and that just doesn't work. But you also have to be like crazy at the same time, as in you have to believe that yes, you can do it, and that you're willing to put in the time and the effort and do all that stuff. You're going to work way harder in your own business, especially at the beginning, than you ever worked at a job. But if you're committed to it and you're working on learning and doing the right things and surrounding yourself with the right people, you can make it. And most overnight successes take 10 to 20 years.
To be an overnight.
Yeah, to be an overnight success, 10 to 20 years.
So what else that would be the skill set or mindset to prepare for someone to gonna start a business then, apart from have the real grip for reality?
Well, there's a bunch of different things. So like one of the first things that I have to work with on people is working on their mindset, because our societies are raised that we're trained to be employees. That's our entire educational system and all of this stuff. And learning to be an entrepreneur, to own your own small business and stuff, it's very, very different ways of thinking. So you have to be open for dealing with that. And one of the biggest things, you have to be disciplined. And there's a lot of people that are very hardworking and put out great stuff, but they have to have somebody else telling them what to do and all of this stuff, and then they'll do it. When you are running your own business, you're the one that's in charge. You have to be figuring out, what am I doing? And if you have never been trained that way, you're not thinking that way, you will find things to keep busy that are going to have no actual value. And there's a lot of people that are, yes, I'm so busy, and I'm going, you're shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic after you've hit the iceberg, because you weren't paying attention to the iceberg, and you weren't working on steering. You weren't working on getting people to the lifeboats. You're just going, well, it has to look pretty. And they're putting their time and their effort into the things that don't matter, and are either actively avoiding the stuff that does, or don't even know the things that are important.
So since you mentioned that, what is the business foundation that is important for the beginning stage then?
Well, the pieces that are important at the beginning stage are the same pieces that are important all throughout the process, the same process that are important to me. And I've been running my own business for 23 years now. You have to have the mindset. Like I said, the mindset difference between somebody who's a really good employee and somebody who's a good entrepreneur, very, very different. And it takes sometimes it's easier for some people to switch over to the entrepreneurial mindset. Some people, it's a lot more work to do it, but it's like, have your mindset right. You have to have your goals figured out. And most importantly, your habit. What are you doing with your time? Where are you putting your energies? Because it's not what you do every now and then. It's what are you doing consistently, day in, day out, that's going to move you down the path. There's a lot of people, okay, I'm going to put in a whole pile of effort and I'm going to lead. And then they sit, and then they fall behind, and they go on the wrong way. We all know the story of the tortoise and the hare, right?
Yeah.
And every single time.
Yeah, because
And you can find, and it's so cool, you can find like all sorts of different YouTube videos where people have literally put rabbits, hares, and tortoises And it's exactly that, because the bunny, yes, the bunny can go an awful lot faster, but they're constantly distracted and they stop to eat. Where the tortoise just, okay, I'm going to slowly go. And if you're going to build a business, you need to go in with the tortoise mindset. Like, yes, if you have an opportunity to move things a little bit faster and stuff, great. But what are you doing day in, day out, day in, day out? So that's really big. You have to have your marketing set up and put together and consistent and all tied together. You have to have your advisory team. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? And if you have employees and stuff, yes, that's definitely part of it. But are you surrounding yourself with other business owners? Because a lot of people, especially when they first start out, they're getting their business advice, whether asked for or not, from their broke-ass friends and family that have never set foot in the arena. And then they're wondering why they're not getting good advice. So you need to have your advisory team, people that are competent, qualified, and actually have your best interests at heart.
Competent,
qualified, and have your best interests at heart.
I find many people just like stop and trying to find shortcuts to get to where they are faster, and that costs them inconsistent somehow. Instead of they think that maybe they keep moving forward, but actually they keep moving out from where they have planned.
Most shortcuts are bunny rabbit. Like, every once in a super moon, you might get something that's actually going to move you forward. Most of it's distraction. Most of it is just going to slow you down and get you off your path. So, okay, so we went with an advisory team. Then financials. You have to be paying attention to your numbers. And this is the number one area that I find business owners avoid. Unless they've got lots and lots and lots of money coming in, they don't even want to look at it. Like, they want to avoid it. They think it's scary. They think I have to be some big math genius to look after it and all that stuff. And even if they are bringing in the money and stuff, it's the first thing that they abdicate. And I don't say delegate, I say abdicate, because, okay, no, I never have to look at it again. And then they wonder why they have problems. And I teach them, okay, here's how to get friendly with your numbers, and here's what they mean. And let's learn all the beautiful stories that the numbers can tell you so that you can do a better job and all this stuff. And when I start telling that, going, oh, I had no idea about that. And then they go, oh, this is it. Yes, it is. So the financials, and then systems, no business. There's a lot of people that think they have a business and they don't. They are owned by a job because everything is in their head, everything. And they're good at it. But that means that they can't get sick. They can't go on vacation. They can't take on any more business. They can't delegate because everything's in their head. And things start falling down and inconsistencies. And clients are getting upset because things are falling through the cracks. And they burn out. They do not have a business. They have a job that owns them. And then you have to have your cash flow and your profit. They are both absolutely important, but they are very, very different. And there's cash flows, the money that's coming in on a regular basis so that you can keep things going. And then profit is the stuff that's left over after all the bills are paid. And there are so many people that do not understand that. They've got cash flow, but they've got no profit, or they've got a profitable business, but they've got no cash flow. So how do they survive, the short term? And all of those things. It doesn't matter what your business is, how big, how small, how new, how old. You need to have all 8 of those pieces in order to first survive and then thrive. Any one of those pieces, or the more of them that you are missing, the faster you're going to hit the wall. There's a reason why 90% of new businesses fail within the first 2 years.
So I mean, we cannot do everything at once, right?
No,
what should be the first thing that we should focus then?
Well, it depends on where your strengths are. Because yes, we want to work with our strengths, but it's our weaknesses, especially in businesses, that are going to take us out to begin with. So what I have found through like my 2+ decades of experience is that there's 2 types of people that start businesses. So the one that I see the most are what I call the bunny rabbit type. They're really good at the idea. They're very visual typically. They're great at the marketing. They here in North America, we say they could sell ice to Eskimos. They don't have a problem with the sales. They love going out. Like, networking gets them excited, and they're typically very extroverted. And they, like I said, they don't have a problem making sales. Where they have their problem is, okay, now I've made all these sales because people love me and it's a great idea or whatever. Now I have to actually go back and deliver. I have to provide the product or service. I have to look after my vendors and my suppliers. I have to pay the bills. I have to find the bills to pay them and all of this stuff. So they have problems in their back end. So I'm with those types of people. Okay, where do we need to be focusing? Okay, we need to be working on your back end because your front end is pretty good. Let's work on that back end. And I find that that's about 60 to 70% of the people that start businesses. And then there's what I call the owl types. And that's definitely much more my type. And don't ask us to come up with the idea. But if you've got a good idea, we could tell you, here's what you need to do and order and all of this stuff. We can put all your systems together. Our finances are put together. Our desk is clean. You give us a job. We are going to knock your socks off. It is going to be beautiful and you are going to be so happy. But you ask an owl to go out and talk to a real live human being and go, here's my business and here I can help you. And this type of person goes, I don't want to do that. That's the scariest thing in the world. So with those people, I'm going, okay, we need to get you out of your feathered little nest and out into the world and talking to people and doing the marketing. So that's where I find people typically fall into those two camps. And the first thing that they need to be working on is, okay, where are you weak and where do you not even know you have problems? So we can start working on that, because there is, while the basic pieces are the same, how it's going to work for each individual person and their business is going to be slightly different. So you have to kind of, like you said, where are you strong, where are you weak, and where are the things you don't even know you don't know.
So let's say that, okay, we have offer, we have product set, and we already able to have some money coming in, able to start a sale. So at least business exists. When should the business owner start thinking about the operation system?
Always. It's not an either or. It's not an either or. It's like, okay, it's two sides of the same coin. So yes, we need sales and we need operations. You can't separate them.
So how you suggest them to keep documenting things then? How do you suggest them to start doing that? Because, I at least know it's so hard to explain things that you have been doing everything by yourself to anyone else.
So one of the advantages we have now versus when I started is there's so much technological stuff that helps. So for example, I have quite a few people in my world that are like tradespeople, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, runs a gym, whatever. And I go, do you have a GoPro or can you get a GoPro? Because if you don't have one, and lots of people do, you can get them now for a lot less than what they originally came out as. And I said, okay, if you're doing stuff, strap on the damn GoPro and do it. And then talk about what you are doing. And this is especially important for when you're doing things, because there's the 4 levels of knowing. There's, you don't know what you don't know. You do know what you don't know. You know what you know. And then you forget what you know. Because you're just so good. It's like breathing. I don't have to think about it. And when we get to that stage, it's just so automatic. And people, well, how did you do that? And I'm going, I don't know.
I don't know.
So I drive a standard, a manual transmission car, have driven manual transmission for like 36 years now. For me, I don't even think about it. It's instant. Like it's what I've been doing. I was teaching my daughter to drive and I'm going, I want you to learn how to drive on a stick shift, because if you can drive a manual transmission, you could drive anything. If you could drive an automatic, you're lucky if you could drive a go-kart. And so we had taken her down to like an empty parking lot and put her, and then I'm trying to explain to her, and she's asking like, how does the clutch work and stuff? Like, how do you know? And I had to think about it, and I said, okay, get out. You have to sit in the passenger, because I literally had to trade spaces with her. And because like, I don't think about it. And I had to stop. Okay, what exactly is it that I'm doing? Oh, okay. And then I was able to explain it to her, and then she was able to learn and figure it out. But because like I said, I've been driving a manual transmission for over 30 years at that point, I didn't even know how I did it anymore. And so when you're really good at something, it's like, we need to slow down, and then you can put it on your GoPro, and then that's videos for if you're training, and then you can have that transcribed into to-do lists, and here's the flow for how we do things. And it catches all that stuff, because if you sit, okay, I need to sit down at my computer at the end of the day, and I have to type out like what are my procedures and all this stuff, you're not even going to think about it. You're going to be so frustrated, and you're not going to know what to do. Just put it as part of your, like, I wouldn't be wearing the GoPro and stuff when I'm talking to clients, but like for a lot of the stuff, they're going, what the heck is wrong with you? But like you said, there's a lot of stuff that you can do while you're doing it. I've had like VA clients, I'm going, well, if you want to be hiring subcontractor VAs and you want them to do a certain thing, well, there's like Loom videos that you could do. Just do it while you're doing a project for a client. And then that becomes your back end. And then you can have it transcribed and all of these things put together.
What about, okay, now we have the ideas. Keep it already documenting. How to organize them? You know, there are people who organize very well, like able to locate the file. And there will be another type of people who just keep producing things, but everything is all over the place.
Oh, trust me, dear. I've seen them, and they'll show me their computer. And as an anal retentive neat freak, it's like, oh, my heart starts going into palpitations when I see their desktop. So this comes back to advisory team, because some people, like you said, like that stuff for me is as easy as breathing. Like that's just natural. And I've met other people where they haven't a clue. If that is not your strength, let's go back to your advisory team. Who do you have in your world that can maybe help you out with this, or put you towards somebody that can help you get that set? This is why, like I said, qualified, competent people that actually care about you. Because there's people that absolutely love doing the stuff that you hate. And I guarantee that you love doing stuff that other people hate. So especially when you're starting off, you could actually just trade time and skills. Okay, you help me put together the marketing because you don't, and teach me how to network or whatever, because you're really, really good at that. And I need the help with that. And I can help teach you and get your organized, your computer set up or your office or whatever. Like find people that you can help and share and trade with and ask for information. And I'm going, if you're putting stuff on your computer, the simplest thing, create a file on your desktop and just put everything in there. This is my systems file, and you dump it in there. At least you then know where it is.
When you talk about advisory team, that is the same as start building your own business team, or they are just your accountability partner while you start building out?
Well, it covers a bunch of different things. So when I first started out, and I started out in a much better position than most people because of my background. But all of my friends and basically my family, they were all employees. So I couldn't talk to them. They'd look at me like I had 6 heads. Like it was just such a foreign concept to them. So I started going out to some networking groups, and I found 2 in particular that were really, really good fits for me. And so I started to get to know the other entrepreneurs in those groups. And we started talking and getting together and sharing stuff. And like I said, doing exactly those things. Well, what are you doing for marketing? And how's that working? And here's what I'm doing in the back end and so we started sharing the information. So some of it was very informal. Then I got into a mastermind group where it was more formalized and more concentrated. And then I've had boards of directors numerous times throughout my business where, okay, these are the people that I know, like, and respect. They have varied skill sets, and we're going to get together on a regular basis. So I was doing mine every 2 months, and I'm actually just going to be starting up again here. And we get together for like an hour and a half and I go, here's what's going on in my business. Here's my plans. What am I missing? What opportunities? Like, beat me up. And then I've also had assistants and virtual assistants and all sorts of people working for me. So all of those people fill different roles at different times as my advisory team, and also my suppliers.
Since when you think it would be a good time that really building your side of business, the team that would be like support you to really run apart from the advisory part?
As early as possible. As early as possible. I'm a big fan of not hiring people right away, because there's a lot of people that, yes, they want to hire and they want to abdicate and not have to worry about these things. But especially at the beginning, especially as a small business, you have to have a basic understanding of all the different pieces so that you know, okay, this is how it should be looking and stuff like that. And it's an awful lot easier to be able to find out if you're bringing in somebody that can actually help you or somebody that's blowing smoke up your ass.
I just see a post in a Facebook group. Someone asked about the hiring process. Like, I think he applied for an agency job or something, and the agency asked him to provide like a business ideas, the whole proposal basically. And there are many school of thought within that comments, within that post, about if they ask you to do this within hiring process, you should get paid for it, or it's already extended things to do for hiring. But someone also comment that for verification process within hiring, actually it could be that extent. Like, for example, if we're going to hire you to do a wedding cake, absolutely we are going to buy your cake before or something, or test the cake, right? So that's the idea. What do you think about that?
That one is a really, really difficult one, because there are ones where, yes, it is just legitimate. They want to find out, like, what do you really know? Because there's a lot of people that can put together a portfolio that's made up of stuff that isn't theirs. And it's easy to bullshit on your resume. So they're doing, okay, let's actually go through and do they actually understand? But then there's also a lot of very dishonest companies and stuff that are just, oh yeah, we'll use this as hiring and we're going to get these great ideas and stuff, and then we're not going to hire anybody. So it's my biggest thing, if somebody's looking for a job or whatever, I would be doing the research into the company. Is this a company that's likely, okay, are they testing me to see if I actually know what I'm talking about, or are they taking advantage of people? Because it's not cut and dry. Like, there's so, as I tell people, there's only two things that are guaranteed: death and taxes. I guarantee you're going to die. We're all going out horizontal, period. There's no way around it. And then taxes. Everybody's going to be paying taxes, and we could deal with that. Everything else, it depends. So yeah, that's a really difficult one. And with it, like I said, what I would be doing is I'd be doing a bit more research into the company and very much taking a listen to my gut, because what I have found is my belly button has never been wrong. And the only times I've ever gotten in major trouble is when I've used this big brain to override the screaming in my belly button. And then what happens? I have a great big huge chunk taken out of my ass, and I never lose any weight.
Because this is another thing that I'm also curious though. I kind of find about background check, especially when I'm hiring international freelancers or international contractors, hardly to do. How do you process the background check to onboard someone to work with you? Do you pay attention on that though, by the way? Because it very depends on the thought. Like, do you really reach out to their previous company that they work, or what is it that you do?
Well, whenever I've hired anybody, and I've done hiring for clients as well, one of the biggest things, it's not the technical skills, because all sorts of people can have technical skills. Technical skills can be taught, technical skills we learn, and technical skills are constantly changing. Do you share values with the person or with the company? Like, what are you guys trying to accomplish? Like, so one of the things that I have is I have a code of honor. And this is how I work. This is what I am aiming for. Am I always perfect? No, because I'm human. Therefore, I am not perfect. But this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. And this is how we do things. And I spend a lot of time going over that with people. And I gauge their reactions to it. And if the people are getting into it and I see them getting excited, we're having a good conversation, so I can see that we're sharing the values. And I'll ask, like, finding out what their values are. That's a really big one. I've had people, oh, well, can you just, no, I just want to find out how much money I can make. Get the hell out of my office. Like, no. I don't care how technically brilliant you are, go away. But if I have somebody who is of basic intelligence, that's excited about what we're doing, and we share values, we can find ways to make sure that you learn the technical skills.
And what do you mean by you not hiring fast? What do you mean by that?
Sorry, fast or first?
Oh, can you tell me again about your onboard the team process?
Oh, okay. So like I said, I will put out, I have very different ads when I have ever hired for either myself or other people, where number one, I want to scare off the ones that aren't going to like me and aren't going to fit. And I talk, like you said, a lot more about the values, and I'm a lot clearer about the job description, because there's a lot of people like they're applying for jobs and they don't know what the salary is. They don't know have any idea what they're supposed to be doing, any of this stuff. And then they're going, well, how come I'm going to call back? Well, it's not necessarily a problem on your end, but the company probably got 18,000 resumes and can't even deal with it. So I'm very clear about what do I need first. So, okay, let's back up a little bit. So when I'm working with my small business clients, one of the things that I have them do as early as possible is put together their organizational chart. And they go, well, why do I need an org chart? It's just me. I'm filling in all the boxes. Yes, you are. But I want you thinking about what are all the different jobs that you're doing, so that when you start getting busy, okay, because every single business, doesn't matter, they have marketing, operations, and finances. And then what are the different jobs within it? Because a lot of business owners, okay, things are going good. I'm starting to get busy. I need help. So what do? They hire a body, and they typically hire a body that's just like them. They get along with them. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. But they hired somebody to do the things that they don't like to do or aren't very good at. But they hired another person that's just like them, and they have no idea what they're going to do. And then so the other person comes in and they think they're doing good and they're working hard and all this stuff, and they're doing all the exact same things, and the stuff that nobody wants to do isn't being done. So you want to know, what job are you hiring for? And also, so I was just talking with another person only a couple weeks ago, and she's been running her business. Well, she's been owned by her job for a few years now, and things are going. And she says, I just hate doing the social media and all the computer stuff, which doesn't surprise me considering what her business is. And she said, well, I hired somebody and it's just not working out. And I start talking to her for a little bit, and the one thing that she hired for was somebody who had the same passion. She works with horses, same passion for horses. And yes, she loves the horses and stuff, but she's not that big on the social media, like that. Her skills and her actual interests are not in the same place. I said, yes, you don't want somebody that hates the horses, but you don't want somebody that's going to absolutely love the same horses the same way, that's going to be looking after your social media stuff, because it's a disconnect. You want somebody that understands your vision and stuff, but has a passion for like the computer stuff and helping your business go and working on the social media. That's what's going to help you go. And then it's like these light bulbs started going off in her head. She's going, I never thought of it that way. I said, exactly.
That's why you need advisory team around you.
Why you need advisory team, like I said. So start off, what's the org chart? What are all the different jobs that needs to be done? And then when you're going to hire, okay, I need help. What is the job, or what are the jobs that you need the help with? What are the things that are going to move your business forward the most? Because like you said, if you just hire another you, you're just going to have more of the you problems, bigger and faster. You want to hire somebody that's going to complement and work in. And if you don't know how your business runs and the different things, how are you going to find the right people?
Let's talk about how to set finance on the right path.
Number one, get friendly with your numbers.
Sorry?
Get friendly with your numbers. So I pretty much insist that all of my clients do their own bookkeeping for the first 6 months to a year. And I insist that they do it. And they go, oh, I hate it. No. I want you to do it. And I want you to do it manually. Like, I don't want you just, because there's a lot of apps and stuff where you can take your phone and just scan in the receipt and it will do all of that. Okay, that's wonderful, but you're missing so much of the stuff. And people, well, why do you want me to do the slow manual stuff? Well, number one, if you're doing it on a regular basis, and depending on what your business is, that could be a few minutes every day, or at minimum once a week. And I want you to do it the slow manual way, because then you start to see things and you start to figure out, and you get to see the patterns and stuff, so that you can find out when things are going wrong, or where you get to see opportunities. When I'm working with like my retail clients, I want them, don't have to do it all the time, but I want them to do their cash flow management, like their tracking hourly. Hourly.
But they have SKU. Oh my gosh, I don't want to think about it. That's scary.
Okay, perfect. I love the fact that you're scared. So why in the world would I insist that my retail clients do their cash flow tracking on an hourly basis?
To see profits and loss on daily basis.
You've got a little bit. Let me give you an example. So for example, I have a client and he opened up a tea shop. Lovely, lovely
like tea.
Drinking tea, hot tea. And I made him track his sales, his cash flow hourly for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So he was opening at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I think he was keeping it open till like 9 o'clock at night. And what we were noticing is the cash register didn't ring till 10 o'clock in the morning.
Seriously? 3 hours?
Closer to 3. And then he would have on like there would be surges at different times and at different days of the week and stuff like that. So number one, okay, even if you're keeping it, okay, well, there's a little bit of stuff going on. So you have to think of it in a few different ways. So, okay, if you're opening up at 7, but the cash register basically isn't ringing until 10, what are you doing with that time that you've got the store open, but you don't have any customers coming in? So you're going, okay, not necessarily that you have to close, but you have to be making sure that you're not sitting there twiddling your thumbs, wondering why there's no customers coming in. What are you doing? Okay, are you putting together your marketing? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Or is this when you're looking after your ordering? So like I said, make use of it, but figuring out, okay, so why so he would get these rushes, like between 10 and 10:30, he'd have a rush, and then he'd have another rush at like 2 to 2:30, and then there was like an evening, and I would go, and it was fairly consistent on certain days and stuff, and go, why? What's causing it going on? So one of the things that we figured out was there was a parking garage on the one on the left side of him, like half a block down or whatever, and then there was a building. And that's where that was the massage therapy school. And so what people were doing is they park in the parking garage, go by his shop on their way into class or whatever, hit his tea shop, and then they go to class. And then some people would hit his on the way back. And we're going, oh, okay, now we understand what's going on. What can we do? So, okay, we started putting up some posters and offering some coupons to the massage school and different things like that. And his business started to go up. But he only was able to see that and come up, like figure these things out because he was I had him tracking his cash flow on an hourly basis to figure out what are the patterns, what are things that are going on. And then, like I said, when business is slow, well, what are some things that we could be doing to be bringing in business on those off times? And that works for seasonal as well. So, do you guys have IKEA in Thailand?
The what?
The IKEA.
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay, yes. So for example, I don't know how it works in Thailand because you guys don't have winter, but here in Canada, we have winter. And IKEA has their kitchen sales twice a year. And a few years ago, we renovated our entire house and we did our kitchen from IKEA, and they have their kitchen sales twice a year. When do they have them?
Kitchen sales twice a year.
Yep.
I think it would be before winter.
No, not before. During winter and during summer.
Ah.
Why?
That's the longest time that people spend in home.
No, they don't have to have them. So when do people want their kitchen done for? They want their kitchen done for Christmas, and they want it done before summer. Christmas, because yes, Christmas is we're having the big family over and all this stuff, so we want to have the beautiful kitchen, so it's all done for the holidays. So in the fall, people are buying. They don't have any problem. But once they hit winter, once Christmas is done, sales drop off. So they have their sale in winter. And then in summer, they have it because if people want it done for summer, because they're either taking off on holidays or typically that's when they're selling their house. So they want it done before summer so that it's off plate. So their sales for kitchen stuff goes down in summer. So they figured this out through many, many years of experience. They're not going to have sales when they're already busy. They're going to have the sales when they're slow. So that's paying attention to their numbers. and then figuring out, okay, am I now doing enough business that I can get a better deal with my suppliers because I'm doing enough volume? Am I getting paid properly? So for example, so my background is actually financial services. I actually have 2 businesses. So I've been in financial services for 33 years, and that was my first business. And now I still have that business, but I focus my energy on growing the small business coaching and consulting. So I get paid on a commission basis. I eat what I kill. And I have an assistant, and she inputs all of my commission statements. She does the data entry, but she's not allowed to file my commission statements until I've taken a look. And this was years ago, but she had done, we got in the commission statements and she done them. She handed me, take a quick look. And one of my companies that I do a lot of business with, so I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you, but I get paid out on an 85% rate. Somebody at head office, for some unknown reason, decided to switch it to a 70% payout rate. Because I'm taking a quick look and going, I know how much that's not right. That's supposed to be 85%. No, it's 70%. So I got a hold of head office, found out that somebody at head office had done this across the board to every agent in Canada that had been getting paid out an 85% rate. They automatically just bumped it down to a 70% rate. It worked out to about 23,000 people across the country. I'm the only one that noticed.
Wow. Because it's automatic.
Got a hold of them, they found out what's going on, fix it. By the time they had it fixed, it took about 6 weeks to get it sorted out. They owed me 15 grand. They owed me 15 grand. And nothing against my assistant. Like she did her job, but she didn't understand. Loved her dearly. But my business, I'm the one that cares. And because, like I said, I understood my numbers because for years I had done my own input. So I knew how things should look. So like I said, I didn't have to go digging. I'm going, no, that's not right. Instantly found it. I'm the only person that noticed.
Yeah, I feel you. And actually it's feel good though to see those numbers every now and then.
But like I said, when you're going through, and like I said, I don't want you I want you going through and learning how to do it, because when you understand the numbers and stuff, then you can start having intelligent, useful conversations with like your bookkeeper and your accountant when you finally delegate it. But if you don't have that basic understanding, you're dangerous, and it's so easy to be ripped off. Or not even deliberate ripped off, but how many stars have you heard about that were really, really successful, and then they owed tons of money to the tax man because, well, their accountant wasn't paying the bills, and now that it's been noticed, all the money's been moved offshore and the accountant's disappeared, and like Willie Nelson, the IRS tour.
Many times, I bet. Like over here as well, many times, and it happens almost every year.
They abdicated. They weren't paying attention to their numbers. That's not my thing. And then they get ripped off. And that's like the worst case scenario. But like I said, even if you're not worrying about ripped off, my assistant wasn't trying to rip me off. She didn't understand. She was just doing her job as data entry. I actually cared and understood and was able to find very, very quickly. But like I said, when you're spending that time doing it the slow way, it gives your mind time to think and figure out. And it's beautiful. And when people start seeing those things, when I start like, here's some examples of how it works, and then how could we do that with you? Then they start, oh, I had no idea it was this much fun.
I think another thing is about the legal update. This is also another annoying part that is so hard to catch up though. Like, I don't know how fast over there that they keep like updating, or like maybe like something that they hidden and not happening. Right now, I'm working on something that they have been not announced publicly as much, but they start getting people to pay the fee because we are not registered on that. Like, so annoying, and not even explained enough regarding to this legal registration for online business. So yeah, this is another part that not only about the finance, but legal legitimate part is also kind of something that you need to catch up on.
Yeah, but that I will also go back. That goes back to advisory team and systems. So advisory team, okay, are you going out and, like I said, networking and finding out, okay, well, what do you know about this? Are you going and putting in the time to be learning about? Because like I'm sure there's seminars and stuff, like I said, asking stuff. There's a lot of people that most people that start businesses are what we call technicians. They're technically good at their product or service. Where they have the problem is they don't know how to wrap the business stuff around their product or service to survive and then go on to thrive. Where I'm going, okay, I come in and help you with the business stuff, because business is business is business. It doesn't matter product, service, industry, location. Like your accounting rules and some of your legal rules will be very specific for where you are in Thailand versus me in Canada or my clients in Australia or England or the US or anything. Specifics will change, but the basics are the same everywhere.
100%. So what makes business not surviving in the first 2 years then?
They don't know what they're doing. They don't have the business skills. Yeah, very rarely is there ever actually a problem with the product or the service, or that the owner isn't working hard enough. It's that they don't understand the marketing, or they don't understand systems, or they don't know all the different stuff that they don't know, or they've confused profit or cash flow, or they're avoiding their financials, or they're missing one or more of those pieces. And that's the stuff that takes them down.
My last question to you. What is the most common thing that you see in business owner that are your clients? They keep complicated stuff or over complicated stuff.
Well, they try to overcomplicate everything. I would say that's the biggest one. As humans, we have a horrible tendency to always try to overcomplicate things. Business is actually very simple. But the reason why we because we don't want to get bored. We think, oh, it can't be that easy. Yes, actually it can. You have to do the boring stuff day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And they look for other ways. They're looking for the magic bullet. I would say the overcomplication, they're looking for that one thing that's just going to turn around. There is no one thing.
In case anyone want to work with you or follow your work, where can they reach out to you then? You
can always find me on my website at ksabusiness346, and KSA stands for kick some ass, business.ca as in pasty white Canadian chick. And you can find me on Instagram at ksa.business. Those are the two best places to find me.
I will make sure that the link will always here in the description as well as in the show notes. So it's so much fun having you on the show today, and I hope everyone take notes and enjoy this content so much, because I think we learned a lot of the basic and foundation. So right now you have a firm grip, but if you need more, and I have heard many times that we mentioned here in this podcast episode about advisory team, and I think it's kind of important to have someone in your corner. So if you need someone, reach out to Tammy. Thank you so much, Tammy, for joining Get Unstuck podcast today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Have a great day. I hope this episode inspires you wherever you are in your entrepreneurial journey, so that you can have your business that supports your lifestyle. Get a show note at getunstuckmethod.com/podcast. Review what we have learned together today and start implementing right now. See it by yourself. The result of your consistent action are worth it. You deserve the freedom to enjoy your life. Until the next episode, let's get unstuck.